Boom. Hey, welcome, everybody. Super excited to see you today. Hey, if you could hear me good, can you give me a quick thumbs up? Hey, thumbs up. There we go. Andrew in the house. Mike, what's going on? Eagle, hey, loving your post. Nice to see you. Hey, Jim, Danielle. Wow, we got a full house here. Hey, everybody that's not on camera, I realize some of you might be new to my world. No need to be shy. Like, just flip your camera on unless you're in a inappropriate position or location. Otherwise, I want to see you. It's great if you could see me. I want you to participate. So if all of you know how to use the chat bar, can you type in boom in the chat bar for me so I know you know how to use it? There you go. Hey, Kathy, super nice to see you. Sean, welcome. My man, Jerry. Hey, what's up, brother? We're going to have a great time, everybody. I need to set the stage for a couple logistics, if it's okay with you. And we're going to go for just about 90 minutes. But if it's all right with you, I'm not going to stop till I'm done. If that's okay, can you give me an okay in the chat bar? Because what I'm going to give to you today is not going to be a fantasy. It's not going to be a philosophy. It's going to be exactly what I've used, what I'm using, and what we will use in the future. And we're going to give you all stuff, and we're going to avoid the fluff, if that's all right. Hey, why? And some of you I know are probably coming off a pretty big buzz. Some of you were at Breakthrough. And if you were at Breakthrough, can you type in the chat bar, what was Breakthrough like for you? Eagle, you were there. Andrew, I can see you guys. Brian, hey, some of you from being on a training maybe months ago to then seeing you at that Breakthrough and seeing you today, I could feel the unleashedness inside of you. There's no replay for this. In the past, we allowed people to miss things like this and share the replay. But if anybody wants the replay for this, just so you know, it's $299. No more free replays. I figure that after doing, over 500 million in sales, and for some of you that are new, if you're new in my world, can you type in new? Can you type in new if you're new in my world? If you've been around a while, hey, Nathan, Austin, welcome. Super excited to have you guys. Who else we got? Sean, newbie, Christy, I'm excited you're here. Before you judge me, let me set a little framework and stuff. But I figured if you're going to make your time to be here, and I'm going to make my time to be here, well, those that don't make time, well, I think they should invest for something. Is that fair? Type in fair if that's fair. So since we do have some new people, and we got some of you, hey, why, that have been in my world for a while, I do got to build a little credibility. So you know what, Jerry, Andrew, and some of you, Danielle, if it's okay, just listen to me say great things about myself for a little bit, if that's all right. And then we'll dig right into the content that is going to be mind expanding. It's going to come fast and furious, and you're going to have to hold on for the ride. And if I do a really, really good job, I got a feeling even at the end of this, you might be sending a message to our team going, I'll pay the $299 for the replay, because I plan on the information I'm going to deliver is worth millions. And I don't say that lightly. I say it because I've created millions and millions and millions, not just for myself. Since I've coached over 1,000 business owners over the last probably 6 or 7 years, and out of those 1,000 business owners so far in the last 36 months, we created 64 of them that have become multi-millionaires, and 90% of them have become decamillionaires, which I've been telling people, not only have I become the coach to the coaches, right? I've created more coaches out there than I think anybody on the planet, especially in the blue collar space. Also pretty sure I became the decamillionaire whisperer here. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it for those of you that are new. Let me prove that to you. So today's called the silver bullet. And I do believe there is some silver bullets. Everybody says there's not, but I do believe there is. But let me make sure right out of the gate here, I want to make sure you have a place. And if you're in our Rebel and Renegades Rebel and Renegades Facebook group, it's a special Facebook group for people, Rebels and Renegades. Can you type in Rebel or Renegade in the chat bar? And if you're not in the group, can you put a question mark because you're new? And if you're new, I'd love for you to use that QR code, or we'll put a link in the chat bar. I have a whole team for you here, guys. I have my business partners on here. My beautiful wife's on here. I got my son who's a coach with us on here. And I got a lot of team here to support and help you. I didn't show up alone. So make sure you go in that group, okay? We do really cool stuff. I share really amazing things. I shared some resources in there.
Mike,
Yes.
I'm just going to jump in here and remind everyone that scalingbootcamp.eventbrite.com is the link. But look in the comments if you want to save 10%. Use that coupon code scaling10. You need the coupon code to get the 10%.
Okay, awesome. If everybody has that, can you type in got it? Can you type in got it? So everybody, and my team will keep posting that for you. When this training is done, that option and that code is going to go away. It's going to go away. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about why I maybe have earned the right to be teaching you. Well, here's one of the things, and I'll highlight some of it here. I want to share what I went from and where I went to. Okay. And if I hit something, why, or Jerry, and you guys could relate to this, you guys just type in a boom or relate. Like I went from confused, right, and figuring it out, and some of you may not have went here, to sold 2 high 8-figure companies in the last 5 years. I used to just teach people how to grow companies. Now I work with people to exit companies. Now I work with people who are scaling portfolios of companies. And some of you that are new in the world, I always like to make this point. Hey, Vicky, nice to see you. The point that I like to make with everybody is I'm not, and my team's not, and our company's not someone who did it 20 years ago. We're in the game today, Jerry. Like we're doing it today. We have a portfolio of companies. We're working on our portfolio going to 500 million by 2030. This is not a portfolio of plumbing and HVAC and electric companies. That'd be fun, but it would be really, really easy for me at this point in my life. And we're not looking for easy. We're looking for incredible and exceptional. The other thing is, like, I went from one time, no mentors, to leveraged expert advice. My wife, my partner, and myself, we invested over $250,000 in our own education. And we'll invest almost $250,000, if not more, this year in our own education. My brother said to me about a year ago, he's like, don't you know everything you need to know? And I said, the day I think I know everything I need to know, that's when things unwind on me. So no, we don't. So we're glad you're investing your time because you're doing exactly what we're doing is we invest time, money, energy, so we can get to what we call, and I want you all to write it down. Ready? Life, business, and wealth by design. So you can live a vacation style life. Only do what you love. And if that sounds amazing, like give me a huge boom in the chat bar because I want all of you to have life, business, and wealth by design. Now, I don't know if you could relate to this, but I felt at one time everyone around me was giving up. And then we built, and Aaron, if you can make an adjustment on this one, please, in the future, we built Food Dog Group and we built Business Forge where we partnered with companies. And also, guess what? The recession was kicking most people's ass in 2008. If you could relate to 2008, type in 2008 in the chat bar, but don't get a nervous twitch and a upset stomach because what happened in the past will only happen in the future if you don't change. And we're going to change together. And what we share today is, and again, if I don't share framing, why would you listen to me? I've been debt-free since I'm 28, me and my wife, debt-free. Now I'll be level 54 tomorrow. Now, some of you may not know the term level. I don't know why anybody says 54 years old. Like, why would you ever say that? That sounds like a shovel in the hand. I'm smarter, I'm quicker, I'm tougher, I'm wiser than ever before. If you want to share what level you are, type in level and in the chat bar. Type in level in the chat bar. It's also will be my son's birthday. He was born on my birthday, or I guess I was born on his, or we were both born, and he'll be level 25 tomorrow. So tomorrow's exciting day. And for some of you that are any of you like gun owners, type in gun owners. If you're not, don't judge us, please. But we'll do a little shooting, birthday shooting tomorrow, if that's okay with you guys. All right. And I also was working hard, but not sure if I was working on the right things. And with my freedom, I've created what I would look at as my best life by design. I want to do that for all of you today with the information. And I got a ton of it that I'm going to share. So I got to get through this. Those of you that are new, hey, who's a business owner here? Type in business owner in the chat bar. And some of you that don't have your cameras on, hey, turn it on if you can, but don't drive and watch me. Drive and listen. All right, we got business owners, business owners. All right, well, if you're a business owner, you might not even be impressed by this, but I'm a little impressed at what I did. Here, I built this company called Gold Medal Service, 32 million. We were tracking 40 million, 165 trucks, 200 employees, double-digit profit, and sold that bad boy in 2017. If you think that's pretty good, can you type in just humble me some? Be like, it's okay. It's okay, Mike. Like, good job. Like, all right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I then went on and I worked with and coached over 1,000 business owners, over 1,000. I like to think I made more impact in the blue collar space than anybody on the planet for permanent impact, permanent change, and life-changing results. I did exit that company in 2020 and sold it for one reason. I changed an industry and no one was changing the world. And I'm a servant, so I needed to go and change the world. So that's a little bit of results. And along the way, I did some kind of cool things, Sean. Like I did sell this building last year. That was almost a $5 million building, 10,000 square foot. It was a great building. I just no longer needed it anymore. And I have a theory about real estate today versus purchasing power tomorrow. Not something we're going to talk about here, but a lot of people in my world that either attend different trainings or things, they learn about that stuff. And I still own this building. And that one's for sale for about 5 million. So if anybody wants to buy it, hey, send me a private message. It does have Turnpike exposure. So not only did I learn how to scale companies, lots of companies, how to build big real estate portfolios, I also learned how to keep and take those strategies to do bigger things. And we created a lot of freedom. We'll type in, where are you logging in from? Type in the chat bar. I know we got people here from Australia and we got people from all over the world that come and they learn from us. Oh, a lot of Florida here. My wife, of course, we're at the Jersey Shore, Connecticut, Arizona. There you go. Was that Trinidad? What is it? Trinidad. There we go. India. So as you guys can see, we set out on a movement to impact over 120 million people or more in a decade or less. And based on this, and based on what you see in the chat bar, I think we're doing a pretty good job. So I'm honored you're here. This is just some of our friends. If you know Kevin Harrington, type in Kevin in the chat bar. He's one of the original sharks of Shark Tank. And he pretty much told us we cracked the code. Here's my other friend, Mike Michalowicz. He says, I helped him transform his life. If you know Mike, type in one of his books that he wrote, or maybe your favorite book that he wrote. And we have my friend, Jay Abraham, who said, we're transforming individual enrichment from the inside out. And if you know Jay, just put Jay with like some flames or a boom after it, because you know he's one of the highest paid consultants on planet Earth. He is a brilliant human. All right, now, if you're good, I'm good. Let's get into some strategies. Type in strategies in the chat bar. Any of you that are new, if you feel like we built a little bit of authority and you feel like you want to hang around and learn from us, can you just type in maybe a big boom in the chat bar if you feel this time is going to be worthy together? Okay. Now, I will tell you, you better buckle up and put a seatbelt in, because I built this to be no joke, okay? No joke at all. I built it to make sure that it creates an impact for you, a silver bullet impact that makes you not only think, but understand new aspects of scaling companies, scaling life, scaling your health. And anybody that has been in my world for a while, can you type in one thing that maybe has changed in your life since being in Food Dog's world or my world? I see Kathy, she's created a teen movement. So type it in the chat bar so everybody can see. And you're going to draw with me a little bit. So let me share my screen here. Grab a nice fresh sheet of paper. So the first silver bullet, ready, Mike? Here we go. The first silver bullet here is what most people don't even spend enough time learning about, and they don't understand, which is going to be human intelligence. Human intelligence. Now, my secret weapon, I would call it, my X factor, my advantage is I've been studying human intelligence and personal growth for well over 3 decades. It's also one of the secrets to why we don't struggle recruiting, how I went from a couple employees to 200 employees, how we went from low profit to double-digit profit, how we went from having a company to building movements, and how I've been able to scale and exit multiple companies, and how we're building a portfolio of companies, which if you keep in touch with me, I'm not going to share it here. We will have a couple more in-person trainings coming in September. I'm not going to share all the details, but if you are interested in, we got one where we're going to teach people how we partner with companies, and we take ownership in companies for $0 and sometimes take 40% of the company, and how to prepare for an exit. If anybody might be interested in that, could you just type in interested in the chat bar? And we will have another in-person training in September called Speak Your Impact, which is going to be about unlocking your most powerful self. If you're interested in that, can you just type in interested? That's all I'm going to say about it, is that it's coming, because we always go to our community first. And hey, if you're on the list, maybe you'll get in. If not, you do have to get approved. Human intelligence. Draw a bubble. I guess this is a bubble or a cloud. I don't know, little puffy cloud. Sean, we'll make sure we get you the information. It will be by application, especially the one called Venture Velocity, because I am going to teach you how to compound wealth by partnering and exits and buying companies and portfolios and stuff with no dollars. And I don't know about you. Do any of you think it would be cool to have a, I don't know, maybe a $40 million company with no employees and all upside? Type in cool in the chat bar if you think that just might be a little cool. I'm going to teach you what the gurus are not telling you in the public, and they're afraid to tell you anyway. I'm going to help you fight against the big boys. Is that, or big girls, I guess? I'm going to help you fight against the monster companies. If that's all right, just type in like sledgehammer in the chat bar. That's what I want to be for all of you. That's what I want to be for you guys. All right. So the first bubble of human intelligence is this thing that we have to call cognitive. Okay. Cognitive capabilities. Now, cognitive capabilities, what this is this refers to the mental processes. You're writing with me? The mental processes, okay? And the mental processes is like how you're gaining knowledge and comprehension. Put a side note on this. Investing in some kind of skill before investing in how you think is a waste of money. I'm just going to tell you that. It's a waste of money. How did I know that? Because at one time I invested like $45,000 to bring coaching training, sales training to my company, and I didn't get anything from it. Well, if you put something. If do any of you remember a Commodore 64 computer? Or what about what was the first phone? The phone with like the buttons on it. What was that one called? It wasn't the flip phone. It was like something before. What'd they call that? You had a Commodore 64? Not a satellite. It was Nokia. No, it was way before that. There's a little black one with the buttons. Okay, but you remember beepers? Okay, so you guys get, tin can with a string. So you guys understand, like if you took the very first computer, like a Commodore 64, and you tried to upload the latest version of Microsoft, tell me what would happen. It would fall apart. It would explode. So this cognitive capability is what people are not investing in. They're trying to invest in, and maybe this will make another additional reinforcement point. When you went to school, did they teach you how to learn, or did they just fill your mind with stuff? And thank you for participating in the chat bar. Hey, Joan, nice to see you. Justin, hey, what's up? They just filled you full of stuff. Like you were a champion if you finished reading Tom Sawyer, right? So these cognitive capabilities, these mental processes, and if you don't want to share, don't share this. But I have a funny feeling that a lot of the population today, a lot of your friends, family, maybe not you because you're here, have some kind of shames, guilt, or traumas inside your mind. Is it possible? Just type impossible. We're not pointing at anybody. Maybe I'm pointing at myself because I had lots of these. And when you have these, Kathy, shames, guilt, and traumas, can you easily stack wisdom on top of it? Or does wisdom just kind of fall apart when you put it into it? Falls apart, right? It falls apart. Also, hey, team, if you could put the link, if any of you are really excited, you have a friend that you like, maybe you don't like them, but you want to like them someday. Can you put a link for them for this so they could hit some of their friends and say, jump on real quick? Mike's digging deep here. The next thing, we make another bubble. Look, I was trying to write on the front of my computer instead of the tablet. Did you even see that? That was wild. I was like, why is it not writing? Why is it not writing? All right, draw another bubble here. And this bubble is emotional, okay? Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Now, why is this a silver bullet here? Well, emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize, understand, manage, and reason, okay, with the emotions of you and the emotions of others. Now, some of you are business owners, almost all of you here. So has there ever been a day you came whistling to work, like, you're all excited? Maybe this morning after holiday weekend for some of you, and you were like, it's a great day. I was eating hot dogs and hamburgers. I was by the pool. You got in this morning, and tell me in the chat bar, what went down for you? What went down? Hey, Judy, what's happening? Brendan, what's up, brother? You were like, it's a great day. And then all of a sudden, either you had something happen or someone brought you this emotional intelligence. They're like, oh yeah, glad you had great hot dogs. Our barbecue grill caught on fire. I got a flat tire. My brother-in-law got drunk. People didn't show up. It rained on that. And when someone brings you their emotional turbulence, what happens with you? Tell me in the chat bar. When they bring you the emotional turbulence, what happens? Do you stabilize or do you start to get knocked off balance? Okay, some spinning around. Yeah, it affects a lot of you. So we have to understand how to regulate this on human intelligence. The next thing is here. Now, this is all just human intelligence. We're only under the first bullet. It's made for you to ask yourself a question. Now, under this bullet here, or under this section of human intelligence, now what we have is decision making. Decision making. Now, we're friends here. Brian, let's just all be real. Let's be honest together. How many of you have a very clear written decision-making criteria for your life, for your money, for your family, for your company that you just pull it out and you're like, da 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 da? Or is it a no? Is it a no? Most people don't. They don't. So if you don't have a decision-making criteria, can we just write some action items as we go? Let me highlight some action items. Okay. Action item here, number 1, mental processes. Let's start to invest in how our brain works. Number 1. Number 2, action item here, emotional intelligence. Let's understand how we function with our emotions and the emotions of others. If you want to create wealth, do you think you could create it from emotional turbulence? The answer is no. Number 3, action item. We need to build clear decision-making criterias. So you're not in a state of mental confusion, emotional turbulence. Let's make a decision. No, get the hell out. I'm firing you. I'm not investing. And how many of you have lost an opportunity in your life? You lost an opportunity in your life because you had chaos in your life. Type in chaos in the chat bar. You lost an opportunity, right? You lost an opportunity. Okay. Number 4 here. Number 4, mindfulness. Mindfulness, okay? And focus. Mindfulness and focus. Now, how many of you, tell me, need to focus just a little bit more because the world is causing distortion and distraction? And you're listening to me, you're yelling at the kids, you're trying to type to a client, and before you know it, at the end of the night, you're exhausted. Not from work, from distraction, because you haven't been able to find balance, and not only balance, groundedness. And when you're not grounded, what are you? Probably confused. You're probably confused. So what is our action step for number 4 here? Here's our action step for number 4 is, how do we create focus? How do we create focus? Now you got to go back and get strategies in place for these things. You got to get strategies in place. So let's take a breath a minute together. Go ahead. Relax a minute and tell me which one of these, if you just double down on this right now, learn more, execute more on it, which one is it that you need right now? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Tell me in the chat bar. And team, keep putting the link in if they want to keep inviting their friends over, please, because everyone we get to, they're going to go, my friend, my neighbor, my mom, my wife, my husband, my brother, my sister-in-law should be here right now. And also, I hope you see why there's no replay on this. And I would think already this one little section alone is worth $299. You're getting it for free. You're getting it for free because we're honored to serve. Okay. Yeah, you want all of them, and you can. And you can. All right. If you could handle silver bullet number 2, just type in silver bullet. There is silver bullets, guys. I know people want to say there is no silver bullets, but there's silver wisdom. There's knowledge. Okay. There's knowledge. And knowledge is what? Type it in the chat bar, everybody. Knowledge is what? Why, I get my next page ready here. Knowledge is what? Power, information. Right. No, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. That's why it's so clear for me that you take some action items before you leave. If you don't put down action items, this is a social gathering, and that's cool, but that's not why I showed up today. I didn't show up here to do a social gathering. I showed up here so you could learn something to execute that changes your life forever. And if you're getting value Can you type in value in the chat bar? Are you getting value? Type in value. All right, so let's do silver bullet number 2 here. So this is what we call the golden business blueprint. The golden business blueprint. Now, for us, we don't do, just so all of you are clear, like I don't do specific coaching just in HVAC and plumbing. I don't do that no more. I have restrictions. I stay away from that. We do partnerships with people, and we have programs that people are in our world where they learn the highest level thinking possible. Because when you got the highest level thinking, you can not only be prepared for the future, you could capitalize on the future. I'm really motivated that you're here right now, even though I don't want motivation for you. I want transformation, because we are facing the greatest purge and the greatest power opportunity in history, probably since 1920s or the industrial age. Those of you that are investing, learning from the smartest in the world, that are sharing what's happening right now and how to be ready, there's going to be more decamillionaires created in the next 6 years than some of you could even imagine. And that's our goal. Like, there's so many people. Tell me if you find this, do you find this true? Like, there's a lot of people at the mountain and they're screaming, look at me, I'm so cool, look at my company, we're so amazing. And I'm like, yeah, but you're all alone on the mountain. I believe your job is bring as many up that mountain as you can. Don't just yell, look at me. Walk down the mountain. That's what we're doing. We're coming down the mountain here. We want to grab you by the hand, Brian. We want to say, that's a kick-ass membership idea. We want you to come to the mountain, because then we have power at the top of the mountain. And then we could look, guess what? Hey, Mitchell, we could look for the next mountain. Give me a boom if that makes sense. And let's dig into this. So on this one here, so I'm going to build it. This is like building blocks. So let's draw some building blocks together, okay? Some building blocks. So the first building block that we have to have in the scaling of this golden business blueprint, and just know that, you know, we take equity in companies. We have a portfolio of companies. What do? Number one, we always start with this: business values. Business values. If your business values, okay, your core principles on what you're building for your business blueprint, and just so you know, what I'm sharing here is your golden business blueprint might be your family, might be your business blueprint. Your bank account might be your business blueprint. I think today people are delusional. They just think business, it's like what I do for a living. Like, my wealth is a business blueprint. My family is a business, because they're a unit that I want to grow with. Is that like a boom for some of you? If you could change the paradigm of these things on what you think it is versus what it could be. Write down a phrase for me, everybody. Write this phrase down. Personal growth is not a thing. It's the thing. It's not a thing. It's the thing. I proved it out over the last 6 years. I watched a lot of people that were out in the world trying to grow a business, could never grow it, come in my world. I help them see different, think different, act different, be different. 80% of the game of winning is a mind growth game. By the way, who has never read my book, Mind Growth? Type in mind in the chat bar. You maybe not even know I had a book called Mind Growth. I don't know. Or Mind Power. Some of you? Austin? Okay. Hey, team, get the link so they can get a free digital copy of Mind Power. Would you guys like that? We'll put it in the chat bar for you. All of you can grab it, share it with people. It's changing lives. So we got to have the business values, and we got to have it really defined. What's number two? We have to have brand. Now, again, everybody in the world thinks brand. They're all brand experts. They think it's a fancy truck with colors with a duck and an effing dog on it. If I curse a little bit, are you guys going to freak out, or will you just pray for me later? You'll just pray? Yeah? Some of you just pray for me if I slip out with some curse words. I promise with you, I'm really good. I'm going to sleep well, but I want to bring you my true self. I'm not here. I did dress up for you guys, just so you know, but I just want to give you everything I know the way that I know it. All right. Okay. So brand is not a truck and a logo. That's not what it is. It's everything that exists in your world. It's what you say, what you do, how you show up. It's more than one aspect. Did you ever see anybody build a brand with not good values? Yes, I see some heads, and what happens? Falls apart. So you got to have the values. Like one of my values is integrity. I believe integrity is key. I also believe, if you want to write a note, integrity to me is a universal value. When you lose integrity, the universe seems to come and take shit away from you. When you have high level integrities, it gives to you. Now, does that mean you never have something weird happen? No, it just means the weirdness is for your growth, not for your punishment, not for your pain. So when you have a brand here, and this is what we would say, like all of you have a personal brand. You do. If I said to one of your friends, your mom or your husband or your wife, hey, tell me what the brand of that is, they would say, what do you think one thing of my personal brand is, Judy? Type it in the chat bar. Well, like, if you guys, some of you, Brian, if you think about my personal brand of who I am as a person, like, what do you think would be some aspects of it? Would it be quiet? Probably not. I'm definitely not quiet. Would it be intense? Would it be focused? Would it be disciplined, relentless, caring to grow others? Yeah, so all of you have this. So that's number 2 of the foundation. Number 3, innovation. Now, I don't want you just to write the word innovation. Like, I want you to like bold it, circle it, star it. I want you to do everything here. I just shared, because I'm in a lot of circles with a lot of business owners. You probably, after 3 decades of, building companies and building wealth and all this, I shared with someone the other day, the number 1 most crippling thing in a human's life today is not change, it's lack of innovation. Lack of innovation. Innovation is as simple of you build a different plan to eat, you build a different plan to live, you build a different workout plan, you build a different business scale plan. Innovation is the ability to innovate. You ready for this, Brian? Innovate your mind first. Your business is not failing. Your business is not growing too slow. You are failing in your mind is growing too slow. Why? Well, you either invested in your mind and stopped. You didn't invest in your mind, so you didn't grow. You're carrying the same old thinking you used to have. You're carrying shame, guilts, and traumas, or you're building shame, guilts, and traumas. Can you write something else for me if it feels appropriate? It is a process, not an event. I won't mention the name, but someone that's been in my world over a decade, become a decamillionaire, building a portfolio of companies. He's successful because he keeps up-leveling his values, up-leveling his brand, and keeps innovating himself. Why? Because he's in our world. And if anybody's been in my world for any period of time, well, Judy, you've been around a long time. Any of you been around a long time? But only tell the truth, because it's not about me. Have I innovated? Have the people in my world innovated? Has my son innovated? Has my wife innovated? Has my business partner, Aaron, and friend innovated? Yes. So, Kathy, write down power in innovation. We're not done. We got to keep stacking the blocks here. All right. Let's do the next block. Okay. Are these silver bullets? Yes. Type in silver. Am I giving you some? Okay, Brendan. I got the 2 thumbs up. That means we're good. This is silver bullets, but you got to listen and execute. All right, next one. Business practices. Now, what are business practices? It's everything in your life is your business. Why do you tell when your kids grow up and they try stepping into something, what do you tell them? Stay out of my business. But you're talking about your life, correct? You're talking about your life. Stay out of my business. So business practices, just so you know, this is being able to have things in place that stack and reinforce, okay, and create a not consistent result, a consistently changing result. Consistency is bullshit. It is. Because anything you try doing over and over the same way and never change will die over time. Does anybody want to challenge me on this? Does anybody want to challenge? There's going to be a pretty tough fist fight here on this. Now, consistently changing. I also told someone the other day, because just like you're here investing, myself and my wife and my partner and our team, we're in like 3 different groups, high-level groups, business owner groups, all kinds of groups. And the thing that I was sharing with somebody about change and consistency is today, people are not changing fast enough and they're getting run over. Why? Well, you know, AI for most of you is destroying you, not helping you. It's just created a new distraction. Most of the world just needs to go back and do what the hell they were doing a lot better. They didn't need a new tool or widget. They needed a new thinking about what they're already doing. So I know everybody wants to chew on the shiny object, but the shiny objects are creating destruction today. So we got to have business practices that create strength, reinforcement, and alignment. Can you write down alignment? Because business practices, like the way our family comes in the house, the way our employees come in our company, the way we wake up in the morning, that's a business practice because it's your business. It's your business. Okay? Next thing. Is this fun? Type in fun if you're having fun. I know I'm pretty intense, but you got to realize, Brendan, I've been waiting for you guys to show up for like 2 weeks. I had this thing building, waiting to deliver it. My mind has been talking to you for weeks now. So I hope you're having a lot of fun. So the next one is, okay, customer centric. And did anybody that just joined this training, can you just say like, just joined 10 minutes ago or something so I know? Just like tell me in the chat bar. Customer centric is what we call human centric. Answer this for me. Treat others as they, or do unto others as they what? Do unto others as they, tell me in the chat bar. Do unto you. This is the stupidest thing on planet Earth. So if Brendan pokes me in the eye, I should walk up and poke him in the eye, and then maybe his kids in the eye. What? How about this? Do unto others better than they do unto you. That sounds like a good formula. That sounds like you're teaching people how to up level. I'm curious about the social media post. So if you're on my Facebook, but if you're not on my personal Facebook, can you send me a friend request? And if you private message me, it's going to be me responding. I respect you too much to have some AI bot robot talk to you. And I asked, like, how are adults modeling the future for the generation to come? I didn't vote. I had 10 the best. I think we're doing a crappy job at it. So we got to be customer centric. All right, we got to add the last block here, and this is empire. Now, empire is your ability to want to create something beyond what you even think is possible, because the minute you think it's possible, it becomes probable. And when you build this, here's what I learned. Ready? Rebel or renegade. I learned that people that are not worried about what others think. How many of you would identify as a rebel, a renegade, a black sheep, a maverick? Tell me in the chat bar. How do you identify? Or average? That's okay. I'm not here to tell you to not be average. We need average people too. They got to do the average things. And we need rebels and renegades because they got to do the bigger things. So tell me in the chat bar, what do you identify as? Maverick, rebel? Yeah. I would agree. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here, Tracy. Like, you'd already be off. You'd be like, this guy, like, he's not talking average, and you know, he didn't show up in a suit. So, right? So if we draw a line of measurement, let's clean that up. I didn't like that. Here we go. Ready? So if we draw a line here and we go up to the top here, and we look at this golden business blueprint, I'll share with you what I believe is holding a lot of people behind on this. The bottom is fear. See it down here? Fear. And the top is certainty. Okay? It's certainty. When you have more certainty and less fear, tell me in the chat bar what happens. Renegade Apache. Ooh, I love that. Very nice. So you get rid of fear, or you minimize, or you understand, or you eliminate, and you go to certainty, right? You become unstoppable. You then create a life by design, life, business, and wealth by design. Which one of these is the building block, the stone that you need to really put in place now for you? Is it you have to reinforce the values with your family, the brand? You need to start innovating quickly? Tell me which one. Type it in the chat bar now. Type it in the chat bar. And we got a couple more to do here before you leave. We got a couple more. Innovation, brand. Hey, Jay, thanks for jumping on. Innovation. Yeah. Biz practices. Right. All right, let's go to number 3, everybody. Let's go to number 3. So number 3 is wealth map. Is it okay if we talk about wealth a little bit? Type in wealth in the chat bar. Is it okay if we talk about wealth? So the wealth map. The reason why a lot of you may not have wealth is because you don't have a wealth map. You weren't trained for wealth. You were programmed for lack of wealth. Tell me, Valerie, what were some of the phrases you were programmed with? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's evil. What about some of you? Sean, money is only for the rich. Money is dirty. What were the programs someone gave you when you were a kid? Tell me. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yep. Money's the root of all evil. So if you were taught that as a kid, do you think it just went away from your mind? Even if you don't believe it, do you think it went away? The answer is no. It didn't go away. Don't spend it. It takes money to make money. No. I mean, how many of you that are business owners would find it extremely valuable? Let me see who's still on here. Hey, Tracy. How many of you would find it really valuable if you could buy companies for no money, take 40% of them, take them to a point where they exit, I don't know, make $1 million, 5 million, 10 million. How many of you would just think that would be like really cool to do? Well, you have to be taught how to do that. And if you're taught wrong, you're going to get wrong results. And I will share with you, most of the gurus out there today, all over Facebook, telling you do this, do that, partner, they're giving you some dangerous information. They don't mean to. I mean, they're nice people, but they're not giving you the agreement. They're not giving you the down and dirty. They're not giving you the stuff that gets you stuck in a trap. Those are the things we want to do for you. All right. Now, the wealth map. I'm going to draw it out like it's Candyland. Do you guys type in Candyland? Did any of you play that? And I'm not even sure if this is the way Candyland used to look, but this is how I'm going to draw it. So you draw crazy shapes with me too. So the first part of the wealth map here is financial, okay? Financial empowerment. Oh, I'm going to spell that really crazy there. Empowerment. Okay, so financial empowerment is the ability for you to be empowered inside your mind, Brendan, to know that you're worthy of wealth. You're worthy of abundance. You're worthy of prosperity. How many of you, be transparent with me, you've been on, like, we're together an hour here. Some of you, we've been together years and decades together. How many of you just maybe don't feel worthy? Come on, tell me. All the time I'm around people, they're like, I don't know if I'm worthy. It sits in back, right? Andrew, thank you for your honesty and being upfront. But I want to be the one to tell you, you are all worthy of abundance and wealth and prosperity. All of you are worthy of it. But you have some framing in your mind that has sucked your empowerment away to feel that. So number one, we have to work on getting you financially empowered. Okay. Number two, we talked about this when we started on another one. You have to have a decision criteria, a decision-making criteria. If you don't have a decision-making criteria, you have a guess. Especially today with technology and marketing. Like, any of you that are struggling to grow a company and you're not doing between 5 and 10 million, unless you do something like Lick Stamps or something. If you're not doing between 5 and 10 million and you're stuck in a plateau, I will tell you, you're stuck in an empowerment, you're stuck in a decision making. Otherwise, you would be there. You'd be there. Why? Decision making says, should I focus on buying a boat or focus on improving my brand in my company? People spend more time trying to figure out the TV, the boat, the RV, the house, the car they're going to buy than actually looking at what creates wealth today. Is that possible? Type in possible if that's possible. If I'm not talking to you, but if you think I am, then maybe I am. Maybe I am. But a lot of people, they consumed by the widget and not consumed by the solution. Right, Danielle? They're consumed by the widget, not by the solution. So we got to have decision making. The next one we have to have is this: investing in growth. Now, what do I mean by investing in growth? If any of you, and I'm open, push against me, you don't have to agree, but if any of you think that the solution to scaling wealth and business and family, like, if you think like NLP is going to get you there, what was that TV show, Silly Little Rabbit? It's not, it doesn't get you there. It's not what makes the difference. If you think that, investing in just understanding marketing, everybody in the world's like, if I had enough people and enough leads, I would scale a company. I'm like, no, you will die sooner. Why? Because what you think versus what others know. If you haven't done over 30 million, you don't even understand the landmines, the traps, the destruction that's out there. So we have all these people out there. I call them, like, kind of paper puppets that have done 5 million, 7, 8 million, 10 million, trying to teach people, well, this is how you grow. And I'm like, you don't even know what's sitting behind the bush at 20 million. You don't even have an idea. There's an effing sniper behind there. So if you don't know that, it's dangerous. So investing in growth is investing in mind growth first. Mind growth first. Write it down, mind growth. The second investment that is important is investing in people's minds. People's minds. When I tell people I invested right now over $3.4 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot since we invested $250,000 last year alone. So 3.4 is not a lot. For some of you, it's like, that's a house, that's a lifetime, that's mortgages. For us, it's investing in our mind and then the minds of others. So as our mind grows, we capitalize the minds of others. That's how you build an empire. And I watch a lot of people investing in Facebook groups that have no value. Is that possible? Can you type in possible? They're investing in relationships that are holding them back. Is that possible? Anchoring people. They're investing in drama. Is that possible? People are bringing drama. Is that possible? They're investing in drama. They're investing in people who don't care about them. Is that possible? Yeah. And when you add up all that investing in the, I don't want to say wrong area, investing in a non-beneficial area, it's not pushing you forward. It's pulling you back. All right, we got to finish up silver bullet number 3 here. Next one. Here we go. Candyland. Okay. Passive wealth. Passive wealth. So what is passive? And it could be passive wealth and incomes. Diversification is only a word until it becomes a strategy. Yes? Write it down, everyone. Diversification is only a word until it becomes a strategy. Hashtag Mike A just said that, team. Maybe we should write that one down, right? It's only a word till it becomes a strategy. Now, when we're looking at passive incomes, we're looking at diversification. How many ways can you make money while you're sleeping? I taught it a long time ago, and I'm starting to teach it again. And some people are starting to pick it up. I believe if you want to build wealth, learn how to get stuff done while you're sleeping. While you're sleeping. You do know that someone's awake when you're in bed, right? You do know, right, Danielle? Well, there is moments me and Danielle are both awake. But sometimes Australia's asleep when New Jersey's awake and vice versa. That means there's people that could be doing things for me while I'm sleeping, but you're waiting to do all your magic with people that are awake at the same time. Someone give me a boom in the chat bar, please. I wish I had my money, my buttons. I'm gonna have to go grab ka-ching. I just gave myself a ka-ching. That's how we move faster, because when I would wake up in the morning, all kinds of stuff got done. But some of you are waiting to delegate in the morning. When, Mike, you should be delegating at night before bed. Delegate at night before bed. How many things should I send somebody to do? All right, last part of this. Ready? This is actually, if you guys don't know Mike here, I'm going to let Mike type in what he does. Mike, type in what you do for a business. It's wealth protection. Wealth protection. We did a whole section the beginning of this year teaching our members, our legacy members. We have a legacy program where people that are working for legacy, these are, top doctors, top insurance people, top AI experts in the world that are in our legacy, top IT professionals in our world. And we did about risk. Everything else means nothing without wealth protection, because if something comes in the way, it tries to steal everything, your money will go away. Now, when we look at this, my fun little candy land here, and we draw an arrow around it, if mind growth and then mind power combined with the right community in the right training and vehicle creates, you know what it creates? Massive wealth. Massive wealth. Are you tracking? Type in tracking if you're tracking. It creates massive wealth. Some people say this isn't rocket science. No, it is. It's exact rocket science. And rocket science is easy when you know how to rocket's built. If you don't know how to rocket's built, then it's hard science. But when you know, this becomes an equalizer. You start to win. Who wants to know one of my biggest fears from years ago? I don't have it today, but does anybody want to know one of Mike A's fears? Those of you that are new, my last name's Aguilera. Most people can't even say it. So I say Mike A because it's simple. Kathy, biggest fear. I'll make it with a point. And then after my point, we will go into, so you don't want to leave, because number 4 is how to create alignment. Okay, alignment. My biggest fear was, I don't know my father's father's father. I don't know him. I never heard any stories about him. Do any of you know your father's 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 father? your mother's 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 mother. And that says to me that after a couple small generations, people's legacy dies. And that was one of my fears. Like, am I just going to be extinguished in like 2 generations? Nobody will know me, and like it will die off. And I was thinking, this is horrible. So, Anas, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Do you know your father's 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 father? Father, 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 right? So there's a point where it just starts to disappear, and I don't want to disappear. I want to make sure 1,000 years or more, the wisdom, the knowledge, the impact, my effort, my energy keeps going generation to generation. Let's get into number 4. How many of you want that too? Do you want that too? Give me a boom in the chat bar. Do you want that? I think most people do. So number 4, we're going to call it alignment, is the silver bullet. And so how do we create alignment? All right, draw with me, everybody. Draw with me. So one part, and I'm going to draw this like in the shape of some funny puzzle pieces. The one part is communication skills. How many of you in your life, now be careful if you're like wife or husband or partners on here, how many of you though, when your communication skills are not where you might want them to be, it starts to break apart alignment in a relationship? If your communication skills are not where you want it to be with your employee, it starts to fall apart, right, Austin? This is destruction. So number 1 of alignment is we got to have communication skills. Number 2, if we continue this puzzle piece here, okay, we continue this puzzle piece. I'll pick another color next time. There's boundaries. Boundaries. Now, how many of you in life, come on, be upfront with me. How many of you in life just have somewhere you have to improve your boundaries in a relationship that's pulling against alignment? Yeah, kids, neighbor, employees, business partner, vendor, right? So for alignment, the silver bullet is, wait, don't learn how to communicate, become a communication master. That's one of the things my son on here, if you don't know my son, Michael, if you do know my son, Michael, type in the chat bar, Michael, he's a communication expert. So when he's coaching and working with people, he can help them move so much faster, right, Art? Because he can help them communicate. And if you communicate better, you will get better results. You communicate worse, you're probably going to get worse results. When you communicate better, you could set healthy boundaries. When you have healthy boundaries, you'll move forward. Now, with healthy boundaries here, I found out that if we go this way here, we have what's called quality time. Quality time. What is quality time? How many of you do not have people in your world at either the level you'd like, the connection you like, the value you like, because you're not giving enough quality time? Now, what is quality time? Well, if I'm typing on my computer, because I used to do this, my people would come in my office and I'd be one of these people, probably not you. I'd go like this. What is it? Yeah, just go do that. And I'd be typing. Oh, yeah? All right, well, go do that. Now, that's not quality time. That's distracted time. So what does it say to that person? I'm not important. This doesn't matter. So what do? Someone's talking to them and they're like, yeah, what? Okay, go do, yeah, hang on a second, go do that. So quality time is focus time in alignment of the relationship. Is this making sense? Can you give me a make sense in the chat bar, please? Can you give me a make sense? Now, after that, we have this one here. And this fits together like a puzzle, because I don't know about you. If you try to take a puzzle and jam a corner piece in the middle, doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, this piece is support systems. Write it down, everybody. Support systems. Support systems. And after this, you're not going to want to leave yet, because we're going to talk about a team of ninjas. I promise you don't want to leave early here. All right. So support systems are, what are the things that reinforce alignment between us? Sometimes the support system is an outside person that helps, right? Like sometimes if it's a family structure, the support person might be a coach, or maybe a therapist, or maybe a teacher, yoga teacher, martial arts teacher. Does anybody do martial arts here, by the way? Type in martial arts. I'm always just curious about those random things. Hey, Dave Dolick, nice to see you. Hey, all you martial artists, welcome. So we got to have support systems, because support systems reinforce the structure of alignment, And the last part here, ready? Last part. This is the big one. Shared goals and vision. All right, we're going to get honest again. We're going to get honest. How many of you inside your mind have a really big goal or vision? Empire, own a castle, own a mountain, own 50 million, whatever. And how many of you, Jerry, are not sharing it with everybody because, oh, my wife might judge, my husband might judge. Why do you want more? Can't we be happy? Why do you need to be bigger? Why do you need that? Aren't you ever satisfied? That sounds like a lot of work. So what do? You take a cup, right? And you stick your shared vision in there and you keep it to yourself like this, right? You keep it to yourself. You're like, I don't want to show everybody. I don't want to show them because, well, they'll judge it and they won't want to take a sip out of the cup, right? They won't want to take a sip. So what do I got to do? Well, let's back into the puzzle here. Okay, let's back into it. Well, if I don't share the vision, then the support system, family, friends, employees, starts to fall apart. Then the quality time starts to lessen. The boundaries get broken and the communication skills get distorted. Boom. That's it. Falls apart. The whole puzzle. It's like in our house every now and then, Ginger, the 13-year-old dog, eats a puzzle piece. You know what I mean, Dave? Eats a puzzle piece. Now the puzzle's not whole. If the puzzle's not whole, it never looks complete inside your mind and your future. So we want to create alignment without fear. Without fear. Now, if you don't have anybody rooting for your greatest, biggest, wildest dream, well, send me a Facebook private message. I'll root you on. I'll be your greatest cheerleader. Because to me, I don't care if you want to build something $5, 5 billion, 5 trillion. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's keep moving forward. Tell me on alignment, what is the one, but you can only pick one. I know a lot of you want to go all of them, but I don't want you to do all of them because you won't have action on it. If you got to pick one that you're going to focus on the rest of this week to improve, which one is it? I want one from everybody. Good. Everybody put one. Then I got one more really cool diagram. Support system, shared goals. How many of you, well, I raised it, so a lot of you probably heard it. For a couple of years, I said, we're going to, Art, you heard it, Dave, we're going to impact 1 million people or more in a decade or less in 100 countries or more. And we changed it now to 120 million. And we tell everybody it's 120 million. It's 120 countries or more. And it's still a decade or less. Why? Because we're making progress, and I want everyone to know. I don't want people to have to believe it. I just want to be around people that want to support it. If they want to crap on it, well, that's my choice to leave them in my world, isn't it? So I got shared goals, vision. Okay, I love it. All right, guys, if you're going to stay strong, and we'll go for the last silver bullet, number 5, type in strong in the chat bar. If you're going to stay with me, and we're going to finish number 5 strong. Number 5, I call it the team of ninjas. Random note, Sean. Brian, very random note. Even though most people know that I've been doing martial arts for over 38 years, Daiichi Reiki, Jiu-Jitsu, Shorin-ryu Karate, all the Okinawa weapons, Haruwaza, Kenjutsu, which is live sword, Systema, Muay Thai. Most people don't know this, Mike. I was trained for a decade in what was called Takeda-ryu Ninjutsu. Story for another day. Story for another day. All right. So all of you draw this diagram. If you didn't draw any, can we draw this one together? Draw success. Draw success, everyone. Success. And as I was building this diagram, I was thinking to myself, put 2 poles on it. I was thinking of the days, Mike, when I used to stack patio blocks up, Sean. And for patio blocks, you know, I always palm strike. I didn't elbow or anything because I was an electrician by trades. Is there any electricians here, type electricians? I needed my hands and my elbows to pull wires and climb an attic. So I used to break it with my palm because it was strong, but I didn't want to bust up my knuckles or my elbows because I really needed that. So I built this. I was thinking, man, what creates this, Tracy? Well, it's breaking through things. So what is one of the things that we need to break through? Well, the one thing we need to break through here, and we're going to do this like patio blocks, like we were going to break it, is key skills. Key skills. And I'm going to share with you, if it's all right with you, I'm going to share with you some secret sauces too that's important for us when we partner or we're bringing somebody into our portfolio of companies. Do you want to know what it is? Yes? Type in yes if you want to know it. Bill, you want to know? Anybody? You want to know? Okay. So here's the thing. Tracy, anybody, the final question before we'll do a deal with anybody is, will you invest time in personal growth if we partner together? If you will not invest time in personal growth, I will not do a deal with anybody, a partnership. Why? Because I don't want to get the company to, you know, everything I've scaled went to over 30 million. You think I want to get to 30 million and you call me one day and say you're getting divorced because your wife hates you now? Well, that or you're unhealthy now because you didn't focus. So it's a number one thing. So key skill to scale an organization is personal growth in the people in the organization. That's the 80% of scaling everything. 20% in my world was teaching them how to twist a wire, troubleshoot a breaker, install a furnace. That's baby food today. Damn Google will tell you how to do that. What Google, Sean, will not do or cannot do good is shift the thinking of people's minds. I hope that's a boom for some of you there because it created massive wealth for me. All right, number two block to break. This is the recruitment strategies. Recruitment strategies. I'm probably going to ruffle feathers. Is it okay? Type in feathers in the chat bar. I guess if you're still here, it'll probably be okay. If you have a problem recruiting people, it's not because there's lack of people. It's you just suck as a leader. All right, sorry. Send me middle fingers later. I could take it. Why? Well, because recruiting strategies is people leave where they're at and they go to strong leaders where they are. Do you understand? People go to strong leaders. Now, I don't own a service company anymore, but if I opened one up in New Jersey, I get hundreds of employees quickly. Why? Well, I focused a lot on leadership, and I will fight for their livelihood. And when they know someone's fighting for their livelihood, they're going to run towards you, not away from you. No one quits a company that they love. They quit a company that they don't love the leader anymore. Okay? So recruitment, that's the next one. Next one. Is this value? Type in value, guys. Give me some value. Give me a little love in the chat bar. Training, development. Training, development. And this applies, everybody, right to your family. Your family needs key skills. Recruiting in your family is recruiting opportunities to your family on healthy habits, healthy experiences. Training, development. You should be training your children, your kids, your relationship. You see how this all applies right to life. Training, development is how do we enhance where you're at to where you want to go? If you're trying to get a skill, let me draw a diagram. Let's say you want to get to 20 million in wealth, and let's say you're at $5. We'll just put very bad case scenario, okay? And you want to get to 20 million. The training development you need is not to get to $100. It's the training you need to get to 30 million. Why do you think people get in my world, in our world, and stay there for a decade? Because they want the training of the 30 million, not the training of the $100. Okay, you probably should give like a big boom or something, or a hell yeah, or correct or something, because that's the part people are missing. They keep going to the skill only a little bit above where they're at instead of the wisdom. Some of you won't even know the wisdom until a decade from now, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? It took me a decade of doing it wrong. I scaled the company to exit in a decade. The second company, half a decade. Why? Well, because I learned this. I didn't know it when I was pulling wires in an attic and sniffing cat shit in a crawl space. I had no idea. But now I know it because I want you not to struggle anymore and go up the mountain together with us. All right, I got 2 more blocks to put here. Ready? Here we go. Draw 2 more. Team dynamics. Team dynamics. So what is team dynamics? This is the inner structure and function of how everybody lives and works together. It's the team dynamics of your wife, your husband, your children, your community, your employees, your vendor partners. The team dynamics is how everybody functions together. Do you see how these silver bullets were stacking if we go back one? Does alignment help with team dynamics? You see how I stacked this? I made this transformation. Yeah, you might feel a little motivated. I don't want that. I want you to have a new level of thinking. All right, last one. We need some form of performance management. We're almost finished here, guys. I know I'm melting your brain a little bit. What is performance management? Performance management means I have a way to track. Let me move this down in here. Look how cool. See how cool I am today? There you go. That was just to show you. That's the real cool stuff. Not all this knowledge I'm showing you, how I just moved that thing. Performance management is we need tracking to know if we're winning or losing. Right? I always love this phrase. I said it a million times to myself, Jim. I'm going to say it again. Okay. What gets tracked improves. Can you all write it down with me? What gets tracked improves. If you track, let's say you want to release weight, everybody, and you track it every day. I wear like this Oura ring or I don't know the app. I have an app where I step on the scale every now and then and it registers, Rempo, and it shows me. When I look at my weight, it improves because I'm like, there it is, sucker. If you don't like it, you got to try changing something. But what gets tracked and reported improves exponentially. Why? Well, when I'm there, Mike, and I'm checking my weight and it's on Rempo, I know it. But then my wife's there and she says, what is it? And I go, it's this. And she goes, oh, now I improve because I'm telling her where the number is. Do you understand this? When you report to people, it improves. Now, remember, I built this cinder blocks and I used to go and bam and break all these blocks. So I was thinking to myself, what is the block that breaks all blocks? And it's going to sound repetitive, but it's important to repeat. First, I got to hit in the center. That's called what, everybody? Focus. If you focus on the right information at the right time from the right people, you're going to get the right result that you desire. You will. But then the next part is, what has to fuel the focus? Personal growth. Personal growth. So, let me go back there. Hang on. Hold on, everybody. So on these here, pick the one, and we're going to put a ribbon. We're almost done. Thank you for staying together on this. What's the one here that you have to do? What's the one here that you have to do? Yep. Why? What gets tracked improves. What gets tracked and reported improves exponentially. Okay. I see a lot there. All right. Now, before you go, if you would just give a big boom to my team who's been knocking out of the park, giving notes in the chat bar, and tell me, what is your biggest, number one, go through your notes, and give me your one big takeaway, the life transformation takeaway from this 93 minutes together. I want you to type it in the chat bar right now. Go ahead, don't leave, go through your notes. It's part of the process for you to make sure you lock it in to your thinking and your brain. So go in there real quick. Biggest takeaway. I'll play a little music for you after you do your takeaway. Hey, I am honored to serve you. I look forward to do the other training with you, the Rebel and Renegades boot camp. And I'm just glad you're in our world. So, hey, tell your friends. And if anybody does want the replay, I'm pretty sure it's worth $299. Tell them to reach out. Be glad to give it. And I'm also glad you got it for not having to pay anything, So have an amazing day, everybody. Let me find the song that, oh, here we go. Boom.